So as mentioned, we're awaiting the suspect's first court appearance, and maybe that happens in the 1 o'clock hour today. At the moment, he faces charges of using a firearm during a crime of violence and assault on a federal officer using a dangerous weapon. Former DOJ prosecutor Jim Trusty in studio here in New York, joining us now. And Jim, nice to see you.
Yeah, good to see you.
What should we expect today?
Well, a couple things. Right now the charging document is going to be a criminal complaint. That's a sworn affidavit from the agent. So we'll get our first look at really everything, or not everything, but a big chunk of what the government has on this case. And it'll be interesting to see how they characterize his statement, for instance. We know that there's at least some portion of time devoted to getting a statement from Mr. Cole. Does he make admissions? Does he make false exculpatories? All that'll be kind of interesting to see. The other thing that'll be interesting is the charging. Right now, I think the manifesto may have elevated this to where they can already charge the attempted assassination offense under the federal code. And, when you have kind of the inference of why he was there, that he traveled cross country, and then have social media and perhaps manifesto evidence of his intent, I think there's a decent chance they charge that now, and that's a life-eligible offense.
So reportedly, he was cooperative in talking initially, and then that fell apart or fell off for some reason we don't know. Maybe we'll find out. I don't know what sort of lawyer he's going to have here, but what would be the possible defense?
Well, I think agency is going to be tough. I mean, there are some internet rumors out there right now that this is a friendly fire incident in terms of what happened with the agent. And that's a whole kind of legal morass of how do you charge that. But in terms of the assassination effort against high officials, which obviously would include but not be limited to President Trump, I think it's going to be a tough sell for anything in terms of he didn't do it or he didn't have a criminal intent. So they might explore mental health options. But, my experience as a prosecutor, I loved cross-examining forensic psychiatrists in these types of cases. And premeditative facts trump expert testimony. So when you have a guy that travels cross-country armed, avoiding airports, getting to the hotel, writing a manifesto, you don't need your own expert. You're cross-examining the living heck out of their expert who's trying to pretend there's a mental health defense here.
It has not, well, it's been about 36 hours, but we're not even 2 days into this. Like from your experience, how much more do we need to understand or discover?
Well, I think any good prosecutor and investigative team is going to spend a lot more time than a few days in terms of exploring motivation. How does he get firearms? Who does he talk to? What's the animus he has against President Trump? Who did he talk to about making these plans? So internet searches, direct messages, there's an awful lot of evidence to still gather from this guy to kind of build your case and shore it up.
If that's the answer, then the investigation is early.
Oh, absolutely.
So you're just diving into his life right now.
Absolutely. And I think what's going to happen today is the government will ask to detain him. If you're a good defense attorney, you don't even bother fighting that at this juncture. You just say, we'll come back to you if we ever have something to bring to the court. That's going to buy them some time. They may push off the preliminary hearing date, which triggers the indictment. So they may have a couple of months. They may only have a couple of weeks, but they may have a couple of months before they indict.
Wow.
And so with that kind of time, you're going to keep interviewing people, putting them in grand jury, and really hitting the ground hard.
But what about the fact that, this was interesting, that he apparently wrote a note to his family, and then his family tried to call police and give an alert. There are families that are trying to do this. They're being questioned now, too.
Sure.
And it was too late. Yeah,
it's the type of case where you have to kind of suspend moral judgment. As a prosecutor, you have to think to yourself, did these guys, enable him? Did they try to stop him? All interesting questions to kind of resolve in your head. But bottom line for the case is you're bringing them into grand jury in D.C. You're saying, let's bring these folks in. Let's lock them into their testimony while it's still hot. Make sure that they help me show that he wrote this.
Would his family have traveled to D.C. for that?
For grand jury, they'll have to come down to D.C.
Okay.
On the ballroom, it's getting a lot of attention. The president's put a focus on almost immediately on Saturday night. So put simply, there's a lawsuit to try and prevent the construction, okay? Your lawsuit puts the lives of the president, his family, and his staff at grave risk. I hope yesterday's narrow miss will help you finally realize the folly of a lawsuit that literally serves no purpose except to stop President Trump, no matter the cost. You buying it?
Well, I think he's right. I don't know that it will have the intended effect. It's hard to get litigants to just suddenly back off on kind of moral grounds or on public pressure grounds. But But look, I was always concerned, why is a D.C. judge telling him that private contributions can't be used to expand the White House? We have a long history of expansion, of taking developments. And frankly, I never thought too much about it in terms of security until the other night, until the president made those comments. But he's spot on. I mean, if you're Secret Service, you want that ballroom. You want something that's completely in your control, bulletproof glass and everything else, rather than going somewhere like right off Connecticut Avenue to the Hilton.
Right, where you can have a little bit more control. And also in the long run, it would save taxpayers money because you're not resecuring different locations every time.
Right.
Not that there's that many events there, but there is benefit in getting people together, mixed company in a room together to break bread and try to have some social bonds.
Yeah, I think it's a great, I mean, in general, I think it's a great idea in terms of having kind of the socialization that takes place there. But operationally for law enforcement, they would love it. They'd love to have it in a single place, in their control, same plan every time.
Cole Allen, he's 31, Torrance, California. We're about to learn a lot more about him, perhaps in 3 hours. Thank you, Jim, for coming by.
Good to see you
Thank
guys.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.